Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Former Governor of Kano State and National Chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, is facing a huge political and legal battles that may likely see him joining his predecessors, Adams Oshomole and Abdullahi Adam, in abruptly quitting his position following his purported suspension by some members of his Ganduje ward in Dawakin Tofa local government area over bribery allegations and affirmation of the decision by a state high court. While in a swift reaction to Ganduje's ward suspension, the state APC ESCO nullified the ward executive decision and slammed them 6-month suspension, alleging that they were working with the opposition New Nigeria People's Party. The embattled APC national chairman says President Bola Tinubu is solidly behind his leadership of the party. On the flip side, the former governor, along with 6 others, including his wife and son, were also billed to appear before the Kano State High Court on charges bordering on bribery, diversion, and misappropriation of public funds. A trial stalled Wednesday due to inability of the prosecution to serve the alleged criminal charges against the accused. It is against this backdrop we'll be engaging with the Director of Information of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Bala Ibrahim, on the twists, developments, and how they affect the ruling party. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Hamza, for having me.
Yes, and we'll take a short break. When we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Yes, Mr. Bala, where should we start this conversation? Is it from the suspension of the national chairman of your party or the case in Kano, by the Kano state government? Maybe we should start with the first one. The chairman has been suspended. Where is this in the eye of law?
Well, thank you very much for that question, Hamza. I am not a lawyer, so I cannot speak on the position of the law with regards the alleged or arranged suspension.
Okay, alleged or arranged?
Yes.
Okay.
But from what I hear from lawyers and also my knowledge of the meaning of law, that says the law is common sense, sensibly applied. Now, we have to look at things in that context and see whether common sense is rightly applied. For you to suspend a person from a position, you must have local standing. You must have the right, the powers to do so. Let Abiola, may his soul rest in peace, used to say, you cannot shave a man's head in his absence. Now, if you don't have the powers to shave, if you don't have the powers to hire, you cannot have the powers to fire. The people that suspended or allegedly suspend the chairman of the party, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, are not card-carrying members of the APC. They are not members of the party. Therefore, they don't have the right. They cannot even interfere in the affairs of the party. Investigation has been conducted, and they are found to be people who are meddlesome. They came from the outside. They don't even belong to the party. As a matter of fact, the guy who made the announcement made the mistake of not removing the emblem or the cap he was wearing carries the signature of the opposition NNPP.
You mean the red cap?
The red cap. So you can see the shenanigan was arranged in a way that is clearly in tandem with the hands of the opposition or the ruling party in the state. The person they claim to be, whose name is Gwanjo, said he was in the farm as of the time the statement was issued. And he was not the one that was paraded as the spokesperson or the chairman or the legal advisor of the ward. As a matter of fact, the entire executive of the Dawakin Tofa local government APC came to the party secretariat, 27 of them, under the leadership of their chairman, Wan Muhammad Amin.
You are referring to the national headquarters of the
came to the national headquarters of the APC to lay allegiance, to show support and solidarity to the leadership and membership of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje.
But stories flying around social media and some mainstream media. They said they were actually brought in a chartered aircraft. Could that be true?
What? It is better for them to be brought in a chartered aircraft and making sure that it is them than for people to go on their feet and claim to be what they are not. So, you see, impersonation can come in different forms. But an impersonation that is clearly in conflict with the original person that is claimed to be impersonated is more dangerous than the impersonation of the modus operandi of transportation. If the quarrel or the confusion or the contention is on the means of transportation, that they came by air to register support, is the issue, it is still better than those who went with their feet to misrepresent or impersonate. So how these people came is immaterial, but when you look at the urgency of the situation, it is only natural that they should come by the fastest means of transportation. Who paid for them, I don't know, but that is left for you journalists to carry out investigation.
Where we are on that, yeah. But then, if they said you cannot put something on nothing. So now, if they are not members of APC, how comes the state chapter of the party suspend them, you know?
You see, the state party was quick to commence or to direct investigation. In the course of investigation, they found out that some people actually had a meeting with the opposition party or the government in power at the state level.
Okay.
And these people, the fifth columnists that had that meeting, are the ones that were suspended. Not these imposters, not these impersonators.
Okay, this clarification is very, very germane, because people are saying, okay, if they are not members of the party as being said here in Abuja, why the party at the state level and at the local government level, you know, acted on the existing problem? Yes.
No, the party did not suspend people that are not its members. It does not have the power.
Okay.
But it suspended people that took part in the shenanigan. Those who colluded with the opposition party to create this confusion, knowing fully that it's not something that can stand. It cannot stand the test of legal rigor. So at the end of the day, the party will do the needful. It will take the necessary actions legally to make sure that everything is neutralized and the situation is normalized. You see, politics and controversies, they seem to go hand in hand. The only thing we should always be conscious of is to look at the morality of the controversy and see whether it is in tandem with the reality. If it's in conflict, then we discard it. But if it is in conformity, then we align ourselves with it and abide by what is done. As things stand today, everything is in conflict with common sense. Everything with regards to this suspension and the brouhaha is in conflict with reality, and therefore it is totally wrong and illegal.
Who do you think is behind all this now? At the ward level, the local government level, even at the state level? Well, and to what end?
Whatever is going to be said now until investigation is concluded will be in the realms of speculation. We can only suspect. But because it's politics, certainly your suspicion cannot go beyond your opponent. Since the government at the state level has been pointing accusing fingers at the immediate past governor, it is only natural that the suspicion will be on the government in power at the state level. Whether that is true is something that is going to be proven by the investigation. But for now, you can see the writings on the wall. The government is bent on bringing the reputation of the former governor into disrepute, is hell-bent on discrediting him, and therefore anything that is done to taint his image cannot but be seen as the handwork of the government. That is my own line of thinking.
Yeah, and to what end? Because he has finished his tenure, he's somewhere now at the national level. Why are they fixated with the issue of Ganduje?
Like I said, you see, power and politics go hand in hand. Whoever is in control at whatever level will want to exert his powers, will want to see that he is not just in control, but totally in control. And sometimes in trying to take control, we sometimes overbeat the drum to the extent that it makes loud noise, but it ruptures quickly. So care has to be taken to ensure that we don't overdo things, we don't overheat the politics, we don't do things that will end up ridiculing us instead of ridiculing them. And the whole thing is geared towards 2027. You see, Kano is the real reservoir of votes in Nigeria. Whoever takes control of Kano automatically sees the presidency as just a click away. Now, whoever loses Kano seems to be distant or put away from national leadership. So, in order for them to continue their grip on the votes that come from Kano, there is nothing that cannot be done to ensure that, yes, the people are with them, yes, you are in contact with the grassroots, yes, you are the one that is pressing the button in the politics of Kano. And these are exactly the dynamics that are playing out.
And one thing that we are still trying to come to terms with is the upholding of the suspension by a court in Kano. Where can we place that now?
Well, you see, like I said, I'm not a lawyer.
Yes.
So I'm not conversant with legal provisions. But if the law is dependent on common sense and the application of common sense, I cannot see how someone will divorce my wife without my consent, without my knowledge, and in my absence, then go to court and say the court should affirm that divorce. And the court will say, okay, we should maintain status quo, i.e., I shouldn't go near my wife until the case is heard or resolved. This issue of expertise order is an order, from what lawyers say, that is given based on the submission of one side. You've not heard the other side. So somebody that is not a member of my party, somebody that has no right to hire me, will come and fire me, maybe at Wuse Market or at a media house or in a beer parlor, and say that I have been suspended, and have the audacity to go to court. And the court will say, okay, you have fired him. All right, he should remain fired until we hear him. It does not come in conformity with the kind of thinking of a reasonable mind. I don't know how the court arrives at this kind of expertise injunctions without hearing the other side. One would have thought the court will dig and say, okay, are you a bona fide member of the party? Yes, you are a bona fide. Are you an elected official? Do you have the power to suspend? What is the provision of the Constitution with regards to suspension of member? The court will ignore all those things and say, okay, since you have applied for an expertise order and that this man should be suspended, okay, he stands suspended. If we allow this kind of thing to go, one day, some IPOP members will sit somewhere in Anambra and say they have impeached the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And they will rush to a magistrate court or any court of their choice. And the court will affirm, and therefore the President will be told to stand impeached until the matter is ridiculous.
But someone will say that the chairman, Ganduje, will have solved this problem, assuming he agreed to now go to Kano and then face the prosecution instituted against him by the state government in respect to this allegation of graft and all that. But they are unable to give him the summons letter. Don't you think he's also complicating the matter?
You see, the law works with common sense,
okay,
not brigandage. The law has procedure for everything. Now, if you want to charge someone, if you accuse somebody, you don't just write the accusations and translate them into charges. No. You write the accusations, you follow procedure. The procedure is you present the allegations before a court of competent jurisdiction. That's what the lawyers are saying.
Yes.
You present them before a court of competent jurisdiction. The court now will invite the person so accused, read out these charges to him, and take his plea, which is to ask him whether he has accepted these charges by pleading guilty or he has not accepted them by pleading not guilty. Then it carries on with its duties. There is a procedure. One of the procedures is you must present the invitation to the person accused.
And the chairman has been evading, himself to be presented with that.
Now, who said he has been evading? That evasion is the submission of the person accusing him. The chairman was in office today, all through. He was in office. We had
Are you
meetings.
saying that they've not made attempt to come to Abuja and present it to him, or the law restrict them to actually present it to him maybe in his house in Kano, and he hasn't been there for quite a while?
So that's what I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I have seen the chairman today. We greeted. I have been to a meeting with him. He presided over. He had received delegations. And these are human beings, not angels. So the chairman is visible, the chairman is available, the chairman is around. Whether those people who are looking to serve him don't know where he is, or they just sit down and concoct stories that they could not find him, I don't know how they arrive at. But there is a procedure before you can claim someone is charged. You cannot say you charge him when you have not presented the case before a court of competent jurisdiction. All these things they are dishing out and circulating are allegations.
And I know that there was an injunction which said that the State High Court doesn't have the, jurisdiction to entertain the alleged corruption charges against him. And now the case is back to State High Court. So what is your take on this back and forth?
Hamza,
yes.
You remember one time in our discussion when the issue of state police came up, and
yes.
you asked me my view. I said, I am not in support of state police, because if you have state police, there is the likelihood of them being abused. Some people in power will be abusing those powers, and the governor who is in charge can always unleash or use the state police against his opponents. Now, this is exactly what is happening with the judiciary. Unfortunately, the judiciary is supposed to be independent, and it should not allow itself to be dragged into politics. If, like you said, a court of competent jurisdiction had made a pronouncement to the effect that money laundering charges cannot be tried by a state high court, it is a federal offense. The matter should be taken to a federal high court, not a state high court that is seen to be at the mercy of the governor. So we have to detach the judiciary from politics. Otherwise, believe you me, the judges will be dancing to the wishes and caprices of the governors, and they will be doing things exactly the way the governors want, and that will certainly be injurious to justice.
Don't you think Kano State government, the NNPP government, is also trying to be careful, considering that they may not likely get what they want if they go to the Federal High Court?
So if they cannot get what they want if they go to the Federal High Court, they should do what they want with the state court. That is injustice. The law demands that you give fair trial. If you subject your opponent to unfair trial today, don't forget, you're not going to be in office perpetually. At the expiration of your tenure, whoever takes over from you is likely to subject you to similar mistrial. And what happened? So we will continue to move in a vicious cycle of injustice. So it's not good for politics, it's not good for democracy, and it's not good for justice. I think the right thing should be done regardless of the consequences, whether or not you are going to get what you want. Now subject the person you are accusing to fair trial. If he's found wanting, he should face the law. But don't just subject him to ridicule simply because you want to bring down his image, you want to run him down, and think that you can get away with it. Karma is always around.
Now, don't you think this is a proxy war? By extension, the Kano State government is doing the fight on behalf of the former governor, Konkoso.
Well, certainly, there is no doubt. You can see from the shenanigans and the way and manner things are done, there is just no way you can exonerate the former governor. There is just no way.
You are referring to Konkoso.
There is just no way. Whether or not he is the one that is instigating or inciting or pushing the current governor to do what he's doing, the antics are in conformity with his own style of doing things. And I think it is not healthy. You see, I agree there is no permanent friend in politics, but there should be no permanent enemy in politics. Your friends today can turn out to be your enemy today politically, and the vice versa. I think they have to change and have a rethink. After all, they came together. Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and Engineer Rabiu Musa Konkoso have been political friends for long. Everything Konkoso did, he did so in tandem with Ganduje when he was his deputy or advisor while he was a minister. He has been his political ally for so long. It is very, very unhealthy. It's dirty.
The way they are fighting.
For them to go to the market washing their dirty linens. It's real political immaturity as far as my thinking is concerned. I think there is the need for stakeholders to come in and see to it that they reconcile them in the interest of the future of Kano.
Yes, I will ask more questions on the stakeholders, but then some believe this is actually payback time for the national chairman, because there are allegations that he instigated the purported suspension of Konkoso from NNPP some months back, yes.
Well, like I said, controversy and politics go hand in hand. And always things can happen without concrete proof. Therefore, people will be left with no option but to speculate. Unless we are sure we have evidence or proof that Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje engineered the suspension of Konkoso, we have to leave it in the realms of speculation. One thing I know for sure is that everyone tries as much as possible not to be taken unawares by his political opponent. And in the process of doing that, sometimes the fight goes dirty, and it goes in such a way that it leaves everyone with bruise, which is what I don't like about the way and manner politics is played in Nigeria. We have to sanitize the way we do things. Let us do it with some level of finesse. Let us do it in such a way that the ordinary man or the people who give the mandate are not made to have a rethink and lose confidence in the power of politics or democracy to provide dividend.
Yeah. And then still, yesterday we saw another group, I don't want to call them renegades, suspending the governor of Kano State. I don't know. Kano politics, your friend here, you know how they play it. So where do we place this now? This allegation was that it was actually the national chairman, or you people at the national secretariat, that instigated the suspension of a sitting governor, by members of his party, who the party now said they are actually miscreants from somewhere engineered by the opposition party.
So you see, it goes back to what I'm saying, the vicious cycle this time of recklessness. Now, those people who suspend the sitting governor, do they have the powers to do that? Are they card-carrying members of the NNPP? Do they have has he been charged? If he has been accused of, has he been given chance to defend himself? You see, we should be doing things with finesse. We should be doing things with some level of sanity. If we allow this kind of suspension and counter-suspension to continue, believe you me, one day we'll wake up, some brigands will sit somewhere and say they have impeached the president. Or some cowboys will just wake up maybe they are transport control officers or LASMA or Carota, and say they have taken over the government. God forbid.
And maybe a certain judge will now endorse.
So you see, then what happens? If we allow this kind of caricature thinking to be going on, and we allow people to do anything, we will move from real democracy and politics into brigandage and all manner of shenanigans. And that is not going to be healthy for democracy. Neither will it be healthy for political settings that we want to install, and see to it that in the next 10 years, Nigeria is going to compare notes with established democracies of the world, and see to it that we are moving at a very, very high trajectory. But the way we are moving now, we seem to be condescending, which is very bad.
And there is the belief also that, there is no fire without smoke, or smoke without fire, whichever way we put it. But that there is the hand of the federal government in the travels of the national chairman, directly or indirectly, that maybe President Tinubu is now looking for a way to now do away with him. Because initially, he was fingered to, or penciled to be one of the ministers. When there was a lot of pushback within the party, he now walked towards him, emerging as the national chairman of the party. Could this be true, that Tinubu is also getting tired of the national chairman?
From the body language of the national chairman today,
yes.
From the meetings I attended with him and some other stakeholders, nothing has been done by the national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, to suggest there is a crack or there is a loss of confidence by the president on him, and the other way around. He was full of accolades, ovation, praises, and in fact,
maybe by the word people who came from Kano, or is it that people at the national level also attended the meeting?
No, the meeting was actually a meeting with stakeholders and members of the National Working Committee alongside some party officials like me. So it was a frank discussion, an open discussion. If the national chairman has any inkling to suggest that the president is not supporting him, or is the one that is inciting or instigating this thing against him, he will not have been full of praises of the president. In fact, he even made an open pronouncement to the effect that come 2027, Kano is going to give him more votes than it gave him in 2023. And that Nigerians and Kano people should continue to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and continue to do things that will enhance his support base, and he, as the national chairman of the party, will continue to put in his best for the success of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is his right-hand man. So these speculations that the president is behind the crisis is the kind of speculation that always come around whenever this type of crisis comes up. All the past chairmen of the party that were consumed by crises, they always have this kind of allegations
level
against them, and they will say it is coming from the villa. But nobody has gone to the villa to get a confirmation. Nobody has gotten a proof to the effect that yes, there is the hand of the presidency in their dilemma. Neither is there any such proof that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is behind this. I think it's local politics, and what they say, after all, politics is local. And it is from the local people that these kind of things always come up. For now, I want to believe it's a local issue that is going to be addressed properly and rightly.
All right, we'll build on this when we return from the break. Thank you very much for being here. Yes, viewers, don't go away. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. If you are just joining, you are watching Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We still have in the studio, Bala Ibrahim is the Director of Information at the APC National Secretariat, and we are discussing the crisis around the national chairman. Yes, you said it yourself, even though I heard it earlier as one of the questions. There was no chairman that actually left peacefully, and without support of the president or otherwise, it's very unlikely to uproot a sitting national chairman of a ruling party. So how sure are we that really Tinubu does not have hand in this?
Now, I said unless one has proof. As a trained journalist, I wouldn't want to work with hearsay or speculation or assumptions. I always will want to do things with proof. Until that proof is proven, I will not want to suggest that someone has a hand in some dirty dealings. And the ambition of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to renew the hope of Nigerians in the sanity of politics and the way and manner of doing things generally. I don't think he will condescend to the level of such dirty shenanigans simply because he wants to achieve. What will he achieve if he destroys his party? He will not achieve anything. All I know is that having been a governor, a minister, and the leader of the party for so long, it will be his ambition to see to it that while he is the leader, the party that puts him in place grows from strength to strength. And anyone who knows Tinubu will tell you that he is the kind of person that is bold and brave enough to call a spade a spade. If he's not happy with you, he can tell you clearly to your face that I'm not happy with you, and he will advise you on what to do.
But then there is this allegation that, Ganduje is a bit territorial in managing the party. He only, have people who he believes in, mostly from Kano, around him, and that some people, key stakeholders of the APC, they feel that they have been distanced from the scheme of things, and they are also now working hard to see that he is removed from the party. Could that be true?
Well, although I'm not the spokesperson of the national chairman, even though I'm the director of publicity of the party, mine is to handle administratively the issue of the party, not things surrounding the personality of the chairman. He has a spokesperson who can be able to tell. But common sense will tell you that nobody, no matter how senseless he is, will want to work with his enemies. He would rather have people that are his friends, whom he has confidence in, to work with him than to bring outsiders, particularly his enemies, simply because he wants to appease
the larger picture.
No. So I don't know whether that is the style of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje's leadership, but one thing I know is that he has competent and capable hands that are assisting him in chairing the affairs of the party. Whether those people are just a segment or from his own locality, I cannot tell. But I know amongst his advisors there are people that are from different states. I know one from Plateau, I know one from Kaduna, I know one from the Southwest, and I know a number of people that are not even related to the North, not to talk of Kano or...
Around him now.
Around him. I know one that is from Katsina. So I don't know where this idea of him working only with people from his own immediate locality comes from. But I can tell you, I have people working with him that I know for sure are not even from northern part of Nigeria.
And I'm talking about the party, as a whole now. And I'm happy that you made mention that yours is to project, activities of the party. There are people around the national chairman specifically. But now, months back, President Tinubu asked him to go and reconcile and see how he can even convince maybe the governor of Kano, Konkoso, and all that to come to the ruling party at the center. But his body language, even the words he used in cajoling them to come, was not really something to cheer, because it's like in Hausa, they say "Kamangugazana" or something like that. And this is one of the reasons why they feel that it's like he is not opening his doors so wide to the extent that adversaries will turn, good party members for the APC.
Yeah, well, certainly, you see, I belong to the school of thought that is of the idea of politics without bitterness. I belong to the class of people that believe the best way of doing things is doing them through reconciliation. There is no harm in reconciliation. But then, those who are in proper politics, they feel attack is the best form of defense. So sometimes, even if they want to cajole you, especially if they know your strength and weakness, if they know what you can do, they will always try to undo you so that you stand at the point or position of disadvantage. Probably when you are subdued,
yes,
when you are subdued, then you come in a way and manner that will be more accommodating for them.
So that meaning that maybe Konkoso, if they are to come, Ganduje wants them to come from position of weakness instead of position of strength. They control a whole state now, vote bank of the north and all that. And don't you think maybe he wouldn't want Konkoso to come at all, so that he will not come and take the shine away from him? Because there is this allegation that Konkoso is still more popular than Ganduje in Kano. I may be wrong, but this is what some people are saying.
Well, until we go to the poll, everyone tests his popularity. You cannot just say based on rhetorics, say this one is more popular than that one. Certainly, that is for the poll to determine and decide. None of them is going to go back to the position of contesting for the governorship of the state again.
They have all done it, yeah.
Each of them has done 2 terms. So they have tested their popularity at the polls. They have seen. What brought their disagreement is best known to the 2 of them. They were allies, now they have turned into political enemies. But I am still confident. I still believe that hope is not lost. When we get to the right point, there will be a stage where they will be compelled necessarily to sit down and reconcile, iron out their differences, and put Kano first before their own personal interest. But for now, I don't know why that reconciliation did not go probably the way the president said. I don't know why, and I don't know if they had a one-on-one meeting. I don't know. All we are working with is the public pronouncements made by them. Each of them speak, with fire. So I don't know, but I hope.
But if you have your way, what will you tell them, and will you accept Konkoso coming on board into the APC for?
You see, the popularity of a political party is best when it has more members. The more the merrier. There is no one that can wish away the popularity of Engineer Rabi Musa Konkoso as far as the politics of Kano or even Nigeria is concerned. Konkoso is undoubtedly a force to reckon with. He has tremendous followership, he has a very high popularity, and he is a performer. Neither can you wish away the doggedness, the political powers of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. All of them are what I would say political heavyweights in their own way. So the saying is that when 2 elephants fight, almost all the time it is the grass that suffers. Now I want this grass to be seen as the people of Kano. I want this grass to be seen as Kano State. And I want these people, the 2 mighty politicians, to visit their conscience, put their state first, ignore and put away whatever disagreements they have, so that people will not see it as an issue of ego, and take advantage of the Islamic month we just left, Ramadan, which is a month where we're enjoying to be peaceful, which encourages reconciliation and seek forgiveness from our Creator. If any of them has offended the other, it is for him to seek forgiveness. If forgiveness is sought from you, it is for you to forgive, and then we move forward. But as long as we are going to continue with this animosity, we will only be creating this atmosphere of suspension and counter-suspension, and we'll be ridiculing ourselves, and by so doing, dragging the judiciary into mockery, into politics. And what that means is that we will be creating a state of anarchy. Once you have anarchy, lawlessness will commence. And let Gani Fahimi, may his soul rest in peace, used to say, in a state of lawlessness, it is illegal to be law-abiding. That means they are encouraging people to disrespect the law and to refuse to abide by the law. God forbid. I hope that is not the ambition of any of them. I hope theirs is to build law and order, to strengthen democracy, and give the electorate the desired dividend of democracy.
Yes, another intriguing perspective to this crisis is former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. Yeah, people believe that he is actually the one who is bracing up to take over from Ganduje in the event he is removed, maybe by court or by the party or whatever. But today we saw a statement from his camp alleging that EFCC has been unleashed on him, and it's like he's pointing accusing fingers at your man, Ganduje. So what is really happening?
I take you to the Yoruba proverb that says, when you point an accusing finger at someone,
yes,
check 3 of your fingers.
So something like this.
Which direction they are pointing. They will be pointing at you. Okay. Now, I have not heard from him saying that he is accusing
people around him.
People are saying that he is the one who is championing the cause for the North Central to have the chairmanship of the party. And because he's from the North Central, and because he's a former governor, and because he's eligible, they want him to be the one to take over as the national chairman. Hence, these shenanigans that I engineered to unseat Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. But if that is the case, he should look at today the situation as we speak. I learned EFCC operatives have besieged his house, and he is now put under lock and key in his house in an attempt to arrest him to go and face some...
He was alleged to have been smuggled out by his successor, the governor, who has immunity.
Yes. Very good. So maybe he has been... No, how long is he going to live in this cat and mouse lifestyle? You cannot continue to live under hide and seek. So the better, if what is said is true, if actually he has been invited by the EFCC as a former governor, I think he should honor the invitation. They are not going to kill him. Go and answer this thing. But to be running away from one place to another and be dishing out statements saying this is accusing this one of instigating or this one of inciting is childish, and I feel that is not the way to go.
Yes, but as a veteran journalist, are you really satisfied with the way political parties are being managed in Nigeria? Now, I don't think there is any exception. All the parties that can be reckoned with, Labour Party, PDP, APC, and what have you. Even IPAC, which is the umbrella body of all political parties, they are in a mess. Where are we getting it wrong? And how is this impacting on service delivery to the electorate?
Well, I think the government needs to do something on how to properly entrench the culture of politics in the psyche of the people of Nigeria. We need to do something that will make people understand what politics is all about, what benefits are there to be gotten in politics, and how to give dividend. At the same time, how to even run the affairs of the country politically. You see, late Bola Ige once said of the 5 political parties that were in existence at that time, that they all are like...
Is it during the NP, NPRP, or SDP and...
No, this was during Babangida.
Okay.
When we had 5 political parties. Okay. And he said all of them are like the 5 fingers of a leprous person. So all the 5 political parties are like the 5 fingers of a leprous person. All of them have infection.
All the political parties.
That is the way he put it. So the imperfections of these parties is born out of the fact that, you see, I find it very difficult to believe that any of the leaders of the parties really believe in the constitution and the manifestos of the parties. They are probably the same, or there is no clear dichotomy that will make it clear that you belong to this party and
whether
why
you are right-winger, left-winger, or liberal. Yes.
In advanced democracies, like say in the politics of UK where I stayed and I know a bit, it's easier to convince someone to change his religion than to make him change his political party. Believe you me. If you belong to the conservative, you are conservative completely. And in fact, it becomes hereditary.
Family.
If you are liberal completely. And it even becomes hereditary. If you belong to the left, you are in the left. If you belong to the right, you are in the right. Nothing will make you cross carpet. But in Nigerian politics, in the morning someone will swear an oath as a member of the PDP. At lunchtime, don't be surprised, he has crossed carpet to the APC. At night, he may move to Labour Party. Now, you ask him questions. Let him bring out 5 important principles of the manifesto of his party. Believe you me, not many will pass that exam.
So it's a serious problem. Now, do you see the national chairman of your party calling for maybe next meeting or national working committee meeting to now table some of these challenges he is facing? Because whether we like it or not, it is impacting negatively on the image of the ruling party.
Well, from the way I saw the national chairman today,
yes,
there is nothing to show that he's shaken. There is nothing to show that he's losing control of the party or losing support of the members of the National Working Committee. He seemed to be assertive, and the way I saw him, he is full of confidence that he will navigate through the waters. In fact, he said...
Do you think he will escape the banana peel that swallowed Abdullah Adamu of recent? You can see all the pomp and pageantry that ushered Abdullah Adamu. But in less than 2 years, he was consumed. Adams Oshomole, I know that we interviewed him. He exuded confidence that he could navigate the waters. But before you know, he was gone. Oyegun, the same thing. Former governor of Yobe who acted, they all left the scene unceremoniously and, with a lot of bruises on their bodies.
Yes, I agree with you. The dynamics change, and they change quick. They change fast. In fact, this morning, a friend and I were discussing about the similarity in the offices of the national chairman of APC and the office of the national chairman of EFCC. These are 2 offices in which the leaders hardly leave us at when they want to go. Almost all of them tend to leave unceremoniously, and they always move when there is a very heated controversy. Yeah. But that is politics. That's why I said politics and controversy, they move hand in hand.
So you are hopeful finally that APC will resolve its problem?
Yes, at the end of the day, the party will continue.
And will PDP succeed tomorrow? We have come to the end of the program because they are holding their meeting tomorrow. You want them to come out with a lot of injuries in their body.
No, PDP is faced by cancer. APC is having headache. But wow. PDP is already facing cancer. And I think their own therapy is more complicated and the chances of survival are less.
That's a soundbite from you, and we come to the end of the program. Thank you very much, Bala Ibrahim, Director of Publicity of the ruling All Progressive Congress, for coming to the program and for putting in context some of these contentious issues. We thank you once again for coming to the program.
Thank you very much, Hamza, for having me. It's my pleasure to be around.
Yes, and viewers, that's a wrap on today's package. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics airing every weekday and our special package on Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.